Hey, Caden, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Oh, it's a little bit hectic on my end, be real with you, but I think we're going to be okay. I think we're ready. Super, super late start, but we'll be all right. How's everybody doing? How are your holidays? Mine were super low key, but I like that. I prefer it. All right, I think we're ready. In here. All right, here we go. So we are, let me see. We're down at the store. Let me get this turned on. And it's one day since the last stream. I did a bunch of jobs off camera, and I was able to, let me see. Oh, and let me know how the sound is too. When I listen on preview, no, the opposite of preview. What's the other one? Review. Yeah, that one. When I review these videos, I need to get a Go XLR. That's what I got to do. But let me know how the audio is. The mix of me, the game, and the music. Hopefully it's pretty good. But if something needs to be higher or lower, do let me know. So I did a ton of contract jobs. I paid the loan down to 275 because we were at 295. So I paid 20 grand off that. That gives us a little bit of breathing room. And we've got 15,000 in the bank. That helps. And if we look here, let me zoom in a little bit. Because we've only got, on this whole map, we've got 2 fields. 9.5 and 100. So our grass grew again. Again, we're not going to cut it. We're going to let it get to second harvest, but it's got 2 layers of fert on it right now. And you can see right here, we leased the sulky. This is via Bullet Bill and Simply Safe. Ernie, if you're around, thanks for the tip, brother. That's all the stuff. I wouldn't say all. Most of the stuff we're going to be using for the rest of this series will be Bullet Bill stuff. It fits the map. I mean, you would think. It fits the map, and it's really, really super high quality. So we got that going, and we had 300 left down here. 300 right there. No, 300 right there. And we bought 1,000. That'll be 1,300. This thing holds 1,500. So we'll head up there with that and get that field done. And beyond that, I don't know. I mean, we've got our animals. Let me see. We have to muck out. We've got 4,000 liters of manure in the barn. So we have to muck out. And we've got 4,500 liters of milk, but we sold our milk tank. Our milk tanker, we don't have any way to sell that, right? Taro, what is happening? How you doing, man? We don't have any way to sell that milk, and there's not a ton of it to sell anyway. We'll also take a look at our bales, our silage bales that we made, and see. They're not ready yet, but they will be. And then we'll think about maybe renting a food mixer, see if we can get the trough all the way full, maybe use up all those bales. I don't know. We're just really going to have to play it by ear. And then the last thing before we get started is if we go to the map here. So for the contract jobs, and I will turn off grass before I forget. For the contract jobs, they are absolutely hit or miss. So like field 6-3, I think I may have already done this one. Yeah, this one pays 2,200, but I feel like all the jobs are massive. Like we've got the big Challenger here. We've been hauling that big, is it the Venhuis? I don't know how you say it, the Venhuis? The great big slurry spreader. Where is it? Where is it? Sprayers. Why am I not seeing it there? Right there. This thing. The Venhuis. However you say it, this thing with 30,000 liters in it. This is what we've been spraying with for most of those contract jobs. And it's slow going. And there's not a ton of money to be made from them. Some of them, I have to say, did bump up to like 4,000 and 5,000. And this one that we just went to, 6.3. Let me see, 6.2, see what this pays. Yeah, 1,400. And we're at max reputation with Victor Robinson. So it'll keep us afloat. But I don't know, man. I'm getting, because all of them, like seriously, all of them use this thing. 30,000 liters on board. HM Agra, how you doing? And even with the MT700, now it's a tracked vehicle, but you can turn on 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. It's not super realistic, but whatever. It still slips around, and it has a really hard time getting this thing up hills. So yeah, 1400. We won't do any of those today because we're doing all right on money. But that's the lay of the land. And there goes my voice. How'd we do? 4 minutes. Fantastic. All right, so let's get hooked up. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, I did get a pallet of wheat. And in fact, before I forget, I did get a pallet of wheat. And the health of the animals did not go up to 100%. So I don't know. Somebody said that's a bug. I don't know. But it feels like the animals never go above 80% for health. That's sort of what I'm used to, right? Because that's how it was on the last save game when we were on V1. I think it is the way it is. I was told if you unloaded the animals and then loaded them up again, that would make a difference. I tried that. It didn't seem to make any difference. So what can you do? And they're still making milk. I think we're still doing all right. But it's perplexing. And I think that's it. So we'll take this up. We'll get this on the grass. And we're going to have some left over. Right? There'll still be some fertilizer in the spreader when we're done with it. But there's really nothing we can do about that, I don't think. Wait, what? Hang on. Okay. When I put it back in gear, it stopped loading, but it stopped exactly on 600. And for some reason, I thought this thing only takes 600. That can't be right. All right. So I think we're all set. And there's nothing else we can take back to the farm from here. Right, here we go. I took back the other broadcast spreader that we were using. I took back the rake, the tedder. The mower we already took back. What else? I think there was one more implement up at the farm. I already took back the baler. I don't know. Whatever was up at the farm, I returned all that. And I think we're okay. Whoa, I think we're okay for the moment. We got 15,000 in the bank, and we got 25,000 on our loan cap. So I think we'll make it for the moment. But once I get done with this, other than mucking out, I can't think what else we can do today. So we'll probably speed through time. And we can take the time up to like 480x. So we can go through an afternoon in about a minute. We won't be sitting by the sleep trigger for 10 minutes like we were on Purbeck Valley. So we may get this fert on the field and then speed through the rest of this day as soon as we're done with the animals and see how long is left on the silage bales. So then tomorrow morning in game, we can lease the food mixer and see if we can maybe get that trough full. Because as it stands now, we're putting in 2,000 liters at a time and it's barely filling it. So we put the TMR in, but it's like TMR only registers as part of that, and then the rest goes in as hay and silage. So I feel like there's enough food in the trough that even if we let the TMR run out, the animals won't die. They just won't be as productive. So I think I may, yeah, because if we buy another pallet of animal food, it's 4,200 pounds. And it gets us through basically one night. So maybe we can let them kind of go hungry for one night, save a little buddy. All right. And yep, I think that's it. I was going to do something else today because I took yesterday off and I was planning on doing something in between farm streams. And then I thought, well, the yesterday off was, right? That sort of is something in between. So we'll hop back in here. I did get the, careful. I did get the holiday cargoes delivered and I got all my trinkets in ATS and ETS. They overlap. I can't remember how many of those I've done before. I don't know if I've ever done the holiday before, so I can't say for sure on that one, but I feel like the Goodyear, I want to say the Goodyear was separate. I don't know. I can't remember specifically, but I was able to split the jobs. I did like 8 in ETS and 7 in ATS for the total of 15. And then when you get your loot, you get it for both of the sims. So you get some blankets for the sleeper, You get a pillow, you get a coffee mug, you get a paint job, and you get a rear view mirror dangle. I say rear view mirror. I know it's not really the rear view mirror. You know what I mean. All right. So let's back this out. And yeah, do we want to mess with just working width? It's going to be here. All right. Just working width. Wait a minute. No. Okay. We've got the adjustable sprayer width mod installed, but for some reason, yeah, it says left shift. But when we did that, nothing happened. Yep. I'll mess with that off camera. Right, and what else is going on? Absolutely nothing. We have less than a week left in this year. Let's see how we do. Let's see what else can happen. I have a feeling 2020 is not going to let go. I think something, I don't want it to, but I feel like something terrible is going to happen somewhere before the end of this week. Hopefully not, though. And we can say goodbye to 2020. Spread around there, and then across the top. Make a little room to turn, and we'll just do some lengths and call it. And we will have to take this thing back. I don't really want to because we just drove up from the store, but I feel like if I don't, I'll forget, and then it'll not get returned, and we'll be paying the lease on it every hour. So we'll take this down. Is there anything we can pick up while we're down there? I guess we could get our bale spike. Throw the front loader on and get our bale spike that we had, and then we sold. Let's get another one. We can use the pallet forks for bales, but I don't feel good about that. Around there. There's that speed again. Cruise control does not like to hold on the descents. Carefully right through there. Beautiful. So yeah, the bullet bill packs, there are broadcast spreaders, traditional plows, rakes. I think there might be mowers. Maybe not. I don't know. There was a bunch of stuff. And it is all, of course, absolute top quality. Very impressed. I did not open the files to see if they are more realistic. I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, you think, well, yeah, of course they would be because his maps are so realistic, but maybe not, because this map is not, it really doesn't get along well with more realistic. I had several people tell me when we were on our first save game, starting, I guess about a year ago was when we started that series. But I had several people in comments say you got to go into more realistic and edit the grip and power if you want to use it on a map that is this steep. I mean, and it's pretty steep. So I'll take a look at those off camera and see if they are compatible. And I think we did, yeah, we did need to buy that other pallet of fert. I hate to do it, but I think we'll definitely use it. Because we had 300 down at the store. We have 300 here at the farm. I don't think 6 would have been enough to do this field. So we would have had to buy another pallet anyway. And you can't buy half pallets or anything. No, I take that back. In the big bag mod, I think you can get 500s. But it's more expensive. So yeah, we would have had a little bit left over anyway. And I don't know how much we're going to have left in the hopper, though. Because we started with, what, 1,500? and we've got less than half left. I mean, we don't have half the field left, but I think we're gonna have like 150, maybe 200 liters left, so we won't waste that much money. All right. And if we do run out, I don't think we will, but if we do, we've got 300 over in the barn. All right, and right back up here. I don't know how the contract jobs are generated. I don't know if the map maker creates those or if that's something base game sort of does on its own. But all of the fields, well, no, I can't say all of them, but nearly all of the jobs that I took in the spring were fertilizing with slurry using that great big sprayer. And I did do, I think it's based on time more than anything else, because the big slurry jobs take, I don't know, 5 minutes, 8 minutes. They pay about $1,000. I did a planting job, planting contract that paid $7,000, I think, but it was before we had leveled up our reputation. So I think it's just based more on time. And in the spring, the only thing that's really available to do is plowing and fertilizing. So I think if there were more jobs available, like when we get into harvest, I have a feeling harvest will pay a lot better, but it's going to take a lot longer. So I think the reputation may affect what you get paid a little bit, but I think the main thing that affects it is how long the jobs take. But I did a couple 5,000s and a couple 6,000s, made some money, but there's a lot of those 1,000-pound jobs. We have to do it, you know. I don't want to. It's not. I don't find it to be particularly fun, but we got to do it. There's no other way for us to make money right now. And I do want to wait. If we could lease a milk tank to haul that milk down to the dairy right now, but we'd spend, I don't know, probably 1,000 or 2,000 pounds, and we'd make like 5,000. Whereas if we wait till it's full, we'll make closer to 10,000. So we'll just let that sit in there. And is that, you get the whole field? Let's take a look here. Back here. Yep. So that is triple fert, and we're going to wait for it to grow. Is it going to be ready tomorrow in-game? I don't know. If it's ready tomorrow in-game, I guess we'll have to go back to mowing. And if we do, I think the best thing to do, since you don't have to buy the BGA in 17, I think it would make more sense to, whatever grass we get, just get a little loading wagon that this 5600 can handle. And take it to, is this a clamp right here? I think it is. Stand by. We have one this close to the field. Yep. That's a pit right there. There's another one. Let me go find it. There's another one in these yards. Where is it? Is it this one? That's not a pit. I think that may be a poo bunker, but I thought this was the poo bunker over here. Yeah, this pit right here, it's kind of tricky. I feel like the one at Bramble Lane was, I don't know, tighter, and the angle was a little bit more kind of abrupt, but going downhill into these, I found it to be kind of tricky. So I thought this was the poo bunker. Now there is, like, if we go here to buy manure. Oh, that's interesting. All right. So we've got Cow's Bramble Lane, Cow's Hatton. If we wanted to, like, if we had a hired worker and we wanted them to use manure from Hatton, does that mean, let me remember to turn this back off. Does that mean as long as it's in here, the hired worker will use it? Or does it have to be in the other one? Does it matter? Does it just have to be on the property somewhere? Or does it pull it out of the barn? I don't know. I don't know. All right. So let's go drop this spreader for the moment, and then we'll drop the weight. There goes my voice again. We'll drop the weight. Grab the front loader. Hopefully the weight of the front loader will be enough to sort of balance this thing out. It's empty, so hopefully that won't be too bad. Is it right? No, it's over here. It's over here. Yep, here we go. Hang on. Just noticed something. All right, so we'll drop that right there for the moment. I'm gonna pull up here. Brake. Our bales be moving even though they're strapped down. What's going on there? Unknown. Unknown. All right. So that's still grass. It's interesting. 29.75. 29.78. Interesting. 29.82. I wonder if those reduce in volume when they convert. Hang on. I have to get something to drink. Stand by. Okay, better. Maybe. All right, so right in here. Brake is off. Drop this thing right back here. All right. Okay. One more time. There we go. I'm gonna back this up. I feel like I just got used to the front loader on cattle and crops, and then we hop back into farm sim. I gotta reverse everything. All right, so I think we'll be okay. Yep, I think we'll be okay as far as keeping the front wheels on the ground with that thing being empty. All right, so to the store, we'll drop that off. We'll buy a bale spike. Come back here, drop the bale spike. Muck out the cows. Skip to tomorrow and see if the silage bales are ready and if we can make food. And then if we skip another day, I don't think our canola is going to be ready for a minute. You can see it there. It's not even close to being ready to harvest. But if we skip another day, right, so we'll skip to tomorrow. That'll be the last day of spring. If we skip to the first day of summer and our grass is ready, second harvest stage, we sort of have to mow it. And since you don't have to buy the BGA in 17, I figure we can put it up in the... Did the stream drop? What just happened? Hang on. Maybe I should have taken another day off. All right, that says we're back up. Are we back up? All right. Says we're back up. I hope we are. All right. Feels like a Monday. What day is it? I don't even know what day it is. It is. I have to look at my thing here. It's Saturday. Doesn't feel like a Saturday. We are back up. Fantastic. Technical difficulties, yo. Nice thing about XSplit is it does, I don't know, somehow it like preserves the stream and keeps it going. I know with OBS, if you drop, that's it. Rip. You gotta start again. my internet is, I'd say it's pretty good. A few years ago it would have been fantastic. It's 250 up, 250 down. And I mean, everything is just evolving so quickly that that's really not that fast anymore. I mean, it's certainly fast enough, but it's not, you know what I mean? A few years ago, 250 up, 250 down was like, wow, what do you work for DARPA or something? But now that's just sort of typical. So I'm pretty lucky, but as always, when these things are under somebody else's control, what just happened? When these things are under somebody else's control, you never know what's going to happen as far as, you know, if my provider decides to do work today, I'm out. Or if they have an outage or if there's a problem, I'm out. All right, so we'll drop this. Right. And very carefully pull around the corner here. Right about there. Set brake. All right. I don't know what's going on. My preview's blacked out. It says we're up. All right, so that is returned. Hop back in here. All right, everything's feeling a little bit greasy right now. I have to tell you, just keep me posted. Let me know what's going on, and we will continue to adjust. All right, so we want a bale spike, and let's just get the basic one. I think that's all we need. No reason to get fancy yet. Bale spike, basic black, 600 pounds. I'll take it. Sold this thing because I got sick of seeing it down here at the store. Kept forgetting to pick it up. All right. And we will drop these down so we don't spear anybody. Here we go. Is there anything else we can take back to the farm? Let's see what the price is on these mixers. Yeah, can't get that one. But we've got the 2 Keenan. 16. And it holds 12,000 liters. That's going to be like two hay, 2 silage, right? Because they're 3,000 a piece. So times 4 is 12. And I think that's enough for the amount of cows that we have right now. I think that's enough to just about fill the trough. So that'll give us 3 days. We'd have to borrow a little bit of money. What do you want to do? I don't want to do anything. And what would it be to lease it? 1,400. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's. We'll just have to drive back down here to do it. I hate to make all these trips back and forth, but I don't know what else we can do. Because the silage bales, the grass bales aren't fermented yet, so we can't. If we were to rent that thing today to save a trip, we would just be wasting the leasing that we'd pay on it for like the next day. All right, we'll come back down tomorrow and get it. And another reason we're going to have to buy back that water tank at some point, the red tanker that we used for milk and water, is our cows are going to need water. Now it does have, this map does have the mod where when it rains, the troughs fill up. So their water went to 100% last night when it rained. But at some point we will have to take them water. And the only way we can do that is with the trailer, obviously. So we'll have to get it at some point because we'll need it for both getting water to the cows and taking milk from them. All right. I mean, the contract jobs, I don't know. I don't want to overstate it. I didn't mind doing them, but it did get a little repetitive because it was just that same kit kind of slipping and sliding around. trying to get up those hills. Also, there was one job with the biggest traditional plow, like the 6 or 7 meter, the one that's articulated in the middle, and I just really struggle with that thing. It kind of flips and flops all over. I feel like it's for perfectly rectangular, like German and American fields, big industrial fields, like 100-acre fields. I feel like it really doesn't do well anytime there's turns or curves around the outside of your field, because it's got that flex in the middle and it kind of folds back on itself. I don't know. I got it done. I want to say I had 45 minutes to do it. I got it done in about 30 minutes. Got no time bonus. I don't fully understand that, but did get it done and make some money. But I think we're spoiled. You know, when I start a truck sim profile, whether it's ETS or ATS, I typically just basically duplicate my profile over as far as XP and money to the new save game. There's a way to do it. And I don't know. I mean, technically it is cheating, right? You're cheating in XP and money, and you're not building your character up again from day one. But I feel like I've built enough truck sim profiles in the time that I've been playing that game. I really don't need to do it again. I mean, there's never a question of whether or not you're going to succeed at truck sim. So in that way, it is a little bit grindy. You know, to me, that's like the definition of grind is, you know, you're going to succeed. You know, you're going to have the right outcome. It's just going to take, you know, X hours or X minutes of doing the same, maybe sort of boring thing. And I really like truck sim. I don't ever want it to feel grindy. All right, so we'll drop this here. So with Farm Sim, I feel like because we've all played this game for so many hours, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, it is fun to start a farm and kind of build it up. And this farm that we're on right now, I have to say, this farm is the most uncertainty I've ever had about whether or not we can be profitable. And I do like that. But I don't know, I feel like I've spent enough time on base game equipment, or sort of what the map maker kind of gives you equipment. I'm spoiled. I want to drive my own tractors and use my own mods. So using base game stuff to do contract jobs was kind of, I don't know. I wasn't 100% on board. But we don't have a choice right now. Perspective. Pretend you didn't see that. All right. So we're going to go right here, set the brake, get these gates open. And they open, what did we say, in or out? Out. Before we bump our tractor. So we'll back this up a little bit. Right about there. Try not to go out into the street. And do we want, I mean, I know we need this one open. Do we need the other one open as well? Nope. Looks like just this side. All right, and where do we want to dump this? Right there is definitely closer, more convenient. Okay. Save game. And let's go third person for this. I have much better results that way. Anything involving front loaders. Miss, ma'am, gonna need a little room here. Pardon me. I would love it. I know there is no mod to do this, but I would love it if we could temporarily just visually turn off the cows. Right, like they'd still be there. We would just deactivate their textures or whatever. So we're not driving back and forth through them. All right, right about like so. And I think it said there were 4,000 liters in here, so 5 or 6 passes ought to do it. And it looks like we might just be able to drop a straw bale in here and have that taken care of for the next few days as well. All right, that's 2. And before they come back, while we have some room to work here, let's take care of this side. I know he's got a lot of custom textures, stuff that we dropped into and overwrote base game files when I downloaded the map. You don't have to, but if you want to, there's stuff available. And it looks like he's got a different texture for hard manure. I don't think I've seen that before. All right, let's get back here. Carefully. Yep, getting a little too frisky. That's when I start bumping into things. And I also just saw 7 hours till we have to do maintenance. After we drop this front loader, after we spike a straw bale in there for them, let's go ahead and do the maintenance on this and just be done with it. I don't think it'll be that expensive. I hope it's not. But you know what I mean? While we got the money, let's just get it done with. All right, try to work around one of our cows here. I feel like we're getting a little bit of a hot spot right there. We don't have a whole lot on the map right now as far as equipment, but just a little bit of a, I don't know, kind of an FPS. Oh, something. We'll see. Map's supposed to be optimized for FPS, so I would be really surprised if there were any hotspots, but it seems like we've got one right there. All right, and that's not every little bit, but I'm going to say that's good enough. That's most of it. So I got around there. going to, whoop, that wall. I'm going to close this gate, try to be a good responsible farmer, not cut too many corners. Even though we're coming right back with the bale, let's go ahead and do that and do this. So that goes right there. And the spacing and proportions on this map, I have to say, are just about perfect in terms of, you know, how things fit and how careful you have to be. But it's never over the top. It's never like annoying, or, you know what I mean. Some maps, it's like, come on, man, you're just messing with me now. This doesn't feel that way at all. It feels appropriately tight. And I mean, using the big equipment for the contract jobs, it did. I was thinking, like, I mean, is this maybe not a 100 to 200 horsepower map? Is this more like a 300 to 500 horsepower map? The fields are pretty big. I mean, one of the planting missions was using a 12 meter, and it felt, I don't know, just about right. Didn't feel that out of place. We want to put a weight on here. Let's try it one time without the weight. We'll just sort of get an idea of whether or not we can do this. But for 12 meter, I think you would need at least 300 horsepower, probably closer to 4. And is that, you know what I mean? Is that ridiculous on this map? And I think it may also depend on what fields you have. I think there's some fields that it would be difficult or impossible to get into them with equipment that big, so it would be completely inappropriate. But others, you know, not a problem at all, as long as you stayed sort of near the main road. So it is, the more you play this map, the more, I don't want to say it's got like secrets or anything, but the more, I don't know, the more stuff you find out about it. All right, so we'll get this open, drop this bale in here, then we'll drop the front loader, we'll drop everything, and when we have just the tractor and nothing else, we'll take it over and get service done on it. This goes right in here. Gonna take the whole bale. Moment. Do we not need straw? We did. We did not. All right. Disregard. JK. LOL. And I know we're sort of poking out into the road just a little bit, but the neighbors know us. We get away with a lot. All right. So we're going to drop this right here. And I think right along this hedge, this may be where our front loader and tools live. It's a good place for them. All right. Let's do that. Right there. And then this is going all the way around, and we'll back it straight in and get our service done. So when I first saw this arrangement here with the trigger over here, I was trying to figure out, well, how do we get through here? How do we get the tractor in here? And just put it under the engine lift. And of course, right? 120 pounds. Perfect. All right. So do we need to do anything else? Gates closed. They do have water. They've got grass. I think they're going to run out of power food overnight, but there's really nothing we can do about that. We could buy another pallet of that stuff for $4 grand. I don't know if it's worth it. I really don't. So I don't think we can sleep yet. Nope. So we'll speed up time. Take it up to 480. And yep, all the rented equipment is returned. Triple fert on the grass field. Grass bales are still grass. They're not silage yet. I'm trying to think of anything that I'm possibly forgetting before we skip to tomorrow. No. I think that's it. Let's see how our... Yeah, we're into the red for power food. We're going to run out overnight, but they won't... I hope they don't starve. I don't think they will. And we've got about $6 grand worth of milk. Beautiful. I know on V1 the map looked fantastic at night, but the lighting was a little bit rough. I've got everything maxed out though. We're on ultra settings and I've got maximum shadow lights and maximum mirrors and everything, so that beats up your FPS a bit. Okay. So that's 6:30 p.m. I think we can sleep. Let's try it. Not quite yet. All right. There's 8. Yep. And you can see up there, top right, we lost another chicken. I haven't been feeding the chickens. I've never been into chickens. This map is supposed to have some additional scripting where the chickens are, I don't know, better. So we did run out of power food, but our health stayed at 81%. And we've got 9,000 liters in the tank, which is about 9 grand, just to keep the math simple. Let's see if we have silage yet, or if these are still grass. Because if we do, I would say let's go rent. Yeah, still grass. All right, we just got to skip time again. But when we wake up tomorrow, cows will be lower on food. I believe these will definitely be silage bales. And I think field 9.5 may be ready to, right? That may be at second harvest stage. If it is, we have to mow it. So I never know how these episodes are going to go. Always a surprise. And let's just take a look over here, just in case. Because if we could do this today rather than tonight. Yeah, still grass. So there's 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7. This guy is overwhelmed. Hey, I just thought of something. I always forget to do this. Did we start with any crops at all? Yeah, we did. Just a little bit. But nothing we could really use to feed the cows. We could sell it for money, though. Because, like, oh, yeah. We could sell it, actually, for a lot of money. I always forget to do this, always. So there's 15 grand for soybeans. And another 5, 10. So that's about 25 grand right there. Okay. So let's, before we sleep, let's see if these are silage yet. And they are. Store's closed, but first thing tomorrow, we're going to feed the cows and we're going to sell some crops. All right, here we go. All right. Cows need to be fed straight away. And we've got 13 grand. I think that's worth buying the milk tank. and we can sell crops as well. So we need to speed up time till it's 8 a.m. till the store opens. We'll get the food mixer first, get the animals fed, then we'll go get the water tank. All right, there's that. Oh, and we also need to see, is our grass second harvest stage? And it is. Okay. So we'll get done everything that we can today. We'll definitely get the animals fed. We'll definitely get the animals watered. We'll get some grain sold. Use that money to... There we go. Use that money to buy back our tanker. Take the milk down and sell it. Fill it up with water. Bring it back. Water the animals. And then see where we're at on time. Okay. And if we lease this thing, that's perfect because we'll have to return it. And when we're down there, we can pick up a little trailer. Looks like, yep, canola's still got a ways to go. All right, it's all coming together. I don't know why I always forget. I'm not kidding. Every single save game in Farm Sim for years, for the 3 years that I've played this game, every single save game, I forget that most map makers start you with crops in the silo. And you get your crops, where is it? Is it Blackwell? Blackwell? Blackwell. The one at the east end of Bramble Lane. I believe that's where you access your crops. So we will, as soon as we're done feeding the animals, we'll go get a trailer. And our first trip is going to be wheat. We're not going to sell it. We're going to bring it back and dump it in the cow trough. Probably wheat and barley as well, I think. Do they take barley in place of wheat? Take a look. But that'll be wheat that we don't have to buy. So we'll use that and then sell those soybeans. I think I may have had the right of way there, but you know what I'm saying? A little overly cautious when it comes to the AI. All right, so we'll lease the Keenan. That is right in here. So we go here. Yep, one's new, one's used. We'll go with this one. Lease that. Same one we used in our last save game. All right, here we go. And we are running the mixer mod, the mixer fixer. And we do have straw. I don't. So we've got what, 3 hay bales and like 5 silage bales. So we may kind of thicken this up with a straw bale, try to make it last a little longer. I mean, if we could use all of our hay and silage bales right now, so we wouldn't have to rent this thing again in 3 days, that would be perfect. The other problem is going to be if we put, Yeah, if we put 12,000 liters in it, then we're stuck with it until we're able to put the rest in the trough. Let's not do that. Let's go like less to start with. So if the trough won't take the full 12,000, then we're not stuck. You see what I mean, right? If we put 12,000 in here and the trough took 6, then we could either return this thing and lose the extra 6,000 liters of TMR, or we could pay rent on it for another 24 hours, which would probably be more than the price of buying TMR. So yeah, let's try to be smart. Okay, and I can't remember off the top of my head what side the flap is on this thing to load it. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that works out. So if we pull in, yeah, if we just pull up and park this thing kind of on the lane side of the yard, yeah, I think that'll work. Yeah, getting a little bit of chug through there, noticeably a couple times now. I'm curious what that's about. All right, so we want to open this thing. Open. I thought that top panel opened. No, I guess not. So we will, let's just park that here and come over here. So we need one of those and one of those, right? Yeah, we've got 5 silage, 3 hay. Let's do this too. Let's over here. I'm gonna unhook these. Is that bale that's on the, what are we caught on? Caught on those. This bale right here, I don't know whether it's like technically still connected to the trailer. So let's just unhook all these. And that way, if it is, we're not going to flip the trailer all sideways. All right. So this one first, and then I guess those silage bales. All right. And we are going to, as we sort of calculate our mix, we may need to hook up to that food mixer a couple of times to see what the proportion is. Because I think it's 1-to-1. Unless you put straw in and then it's a little different. I don't know. All right, so we'll start with 1-to-1. Take a look. And if that does give us TMR, then we'll just take that 6,000 over and put it in the trough and see how full it gets after that. Right about like so. bring that down just to be safe, and let's see how we're doing. Yeah, that'll work. I think if we drop a straw bale in, that might mess it up. And this does, I thought for sure this opened on top. All right, I guess not. Let's just back up and around. And we're on the right side. Perfect. Oh, there it is. I knew it was one of those. It's not, for some reason it's not marked. Okay. So take this right in here. I think everything will fit. Yep. Clears that. And it clears that. Beautiful. All right, and let's see where we're at. Turn grass off, of course. Always forget. There we go. About half. Okay. So let's put 2 more in. 1 more hay, 1 more silage. And I think that will be... It's a bit disconcerting. Why'd that happen? We'll put 1 more hay, 1 more silage in. I think that will just about top off the trough. If there's anything left in the mixer, hopefully it won't be... Yeah, it won't be a whole lot, maybe a few hundred liters. I hate to waste it, but nothing we can do. So we'll just take it down to the store and return it with that in there. Carefully. And while we're down there, we will lease a trailer. Go pick up some wheat at the next farm up the lane. Give that to the cows. And then go back and get some soybeans and sell them. All right, here we go. All right. All right. So this will be 3 days worth. Now I'm conflicted because when we mow that grass, right, when we mow that field, I was thinking we could just put it in the pit as silage. And sell it. I'm wondering if we shouldn't put some up as hay. No, let's not do that. Okay, we've still got silage bales. Carefully. And we'll have silage in the pit. The only thing we won't have is hay. We've got 1 hay bale left. But to make hay, we would need the tedder, the rake, and the baler. So that's 5,000 to rent the baler, 1,000 to rent the tedder, 1,000 to rent the rake. If we go here, pallets. For 7,000, we can have, I don't know, who knows how many bales. Part of that field, half that field. For 8,000, we can have 8. Let's just buy them, right? I think that makes sense. And then the whole field can go for silage to sell down at the PGA. I think that makes sense because we'll make more money selling that as silage than we will spending all that money to make some hay bales, because it wouldn't be the whole field, it would just be some of them. Does that make sense? Like our net will be better if we make it all as silage, sell it, and use that money to buy hay bales than if we were to lease the equipment and make hay bales. I think. In my mind, it makes perfect sense, but most things do. All right, so we'll go right out here. Instead of backing into the driveway, I'm going to go right over here. Don't take out the sign. Like that. And then up in here. Yeah, I think that makes sense. All right. This right in here. And that took the full 12,000. Oh, look at that. Just about full. Okay. So now they need wheat. And they're good to go. Let's back up out here. No gates to close. I think we can leave the front loader on. I've seen that before. Tractors bopping around with a front loader on. Rather than swapping out for our weight. Let's just go. But we will drop this down a little bit. All right, here we go. Return this. I think the little west trailer may be the most economical. And there's only, I think for all the commodities that we have, they're all like 7,000, 8,000 liters. So there's no point getting like a 15,000 liter trailer. We wouldn't fill it anyway. All right, back to the store. I guess this is one downside to leasing equipment, is you do have to make a lot of trips to the store. We've got no choice at the moment, though. What else can we do? There was a great demand for soybeans, but even places that didn't have a great demand, they were still going for like 1,500, 1,600. So I think we'll get at least 12,000, 15,000. This may ultimately work out better, because I have a feeling if we had seen this, well, you may have seen it. If I had seen it, when we started the map, I probably would have sold it straight away and then just burned through that money as well. So it sort of found money in that way. You know, didn't know it was there, but we definitely need it. All right, right through there. Right through there. So we were mowing last episode. Were we mowing? No, we were baling. Raking and baling. I may let me see how we're doing on time, and let's see how the crowd is. If it gets more crowded, if more people come in, I may keep the stream going and mow. If it stays kind of slow like this, we may just get this stuff sold. We got the animals fed. We'll get this stuff sold, buy the other tanker, take the milk down and sell it. And fill the tank with water, bring it back, water the animals. Depending on how we're doing on time, and if it's still slow like this, we may call it. And then we'll pick it up next time. I'll do something else tomorrow. Let's do truck sim or flight sim or something tomorrow, and then we'll pick it up on Monday. Mowing that big field. and putting it up for silage. And we're running something. We're running creator tools or the expansion information or whatever it is, but we can accelerate time to like 1000x, and that definitely gets you through the night faster rather than like we were doing on Purbeck, just standing in front of the sleep zone. All right, so we'll return that, and let's lease a little where is it? So these are CD models, 4D modding. These are as well. These are the bullet bill. And then these west over here. Red Rock is CD models, 4D modding. Stewart is ARM, I want to say. And then the west are CD models, I think. If I'm wrong about any of those, let me know. This is what, 18,000? We don't need that. 18,000. I feel like these are all 18,000. 27,000, 16,000, 22, 13. This is better right here. That's all we need. Here we go. Wooten. Oh, that's fantastic. Let's don't need that. Yeah, let's have some fun with it. All right, here we go. Lease that. Let's go pick that up. We'll go to, I mean, that's where the grain was before. I hope it's still there. You know where I'm talking about. It's just to the north of Hatton Farm at the end of Bramble Lane. All right, first time I've seen this thing. Let's see what it looks like. Looks very nice. Line that up a little better. Not quite that far. What about there? Dynamic hose, beautiful. What's this beacon look like? Right about like that. All right, here we go. So we'll do wheat first. So we know the cows are fed. Then we'll go get the soybeans. I think that's the most expensive crop we own at the moment. All right, so our loan stays at 275. I'm glad we haven't had to borrow any money. And really this, remembering that I had those crops, remembering we had those crops is why we're not having to bump the loan again. Because I really don't feel like doing any contract jobs. Definitely not during a stream. They're kind of boring. So this is keeping our loan where it is now. It's high. It's probably too high, but it's not going to go any higher. And if we can lease a swathing mower. Oh no, we can't. That's right, we can't because we don't have enough power. None of the swathing mowers will run on this Massey. I mean, we could lease a bigger tractor. No, I don't want to do that. We'll just go with, sir, we'll just go with the small mower again. We'll go with a rake and a little loading wagon. And just take it right down to the gate, dump it all in that pit, and then at some point, at some point we're gonna have to load it into a trailer like 600 liters at it. Wow. I'm gonna guess these are not more realistic because that little handling thing that you just saw right there, that is typical of a non-MR trailer on an MR tractor. All right, because it's not loaded. There's nothing in it, and it's not that big a trailer. In real life, this tractor would handle that trailer easily, empty. I'm no farmer, but even I know that. So I'll take a look, but I suspect that most of this stuff, all of this stuff is not MR. if there's a conversion in the XML database, I'll convert it over. If not, you know, I've been thinking about turning off MR. I love it. I really, really do. But I feel like it's just, it doesn't work well on this map. It's more of a buzzkill than anything else, so I may turn it off. And we just got all that new equipment, right? All that new bullet bill equipment, and I want to use it all. So if that's what's holding us back, if it's not compatible, we'll just turn off MR. All right, so right up here. Yeah, we're sort of flip-flopping around. Like something's wrong. All right. I think this connects. Let's take a look. Before we go any further, let's take a look. So we want to go... yeah, we'll kind of merge up here to the right. Next intersection and take a left. Okay. And it took me forever to find this grain last save game. And it's either Blackwell or Blockwell. I said Blockwell. But it's sort of the closest farm to Bramble Lane. It's the closest yard to where we were based. But I looked everywhere else first. And it's sort of given up. Somebody told me in a comment. And it turns out it was the closest farm to where we were. You'd think I would have looked there first. Yeah, need to keep the speed down because it's... Feels like we don't have a ton of grip. All right, Blockwell. So right through here. This is it right there. Yep, that's it right there. Okay, so set the brake. Beacon's on. Hazard's on. Let's be a good, safe farmer. And cross our fingers that this stuff is actually in here. I'm almost positive it is. Almost. Right. Brakes off. Let's go third person. Turn those off. All right, cross your fingers. Beautiful. Let's start with wheat. Take this down and give it to the animals. And while that's loading, that's only going to take a second, but while that's loading, let's see what we can get. Yeah, we can still get 2,000 for soybeans. So that's 16 grand at Hollister Agro. Beautiful. All right. Take this down and give it to the cows straight away. And then come back and grab soybeans. And I guess it would make sense while we have this thing rented. And I hate to do that to you, but while we have this thing rented, it does make sense that we would sell as much of that stored grain as possible. So we may make a couple of trips. Where's Hollister Agro? Is that the one that is the northeast corner of the map? Hopefully it's not the northwest corner, like way over on the other side. I don't think it is. I hope it's not. But that makes the most sense, right? It was only $1,500 to lease the trailer, but $1,500. Oh, yeah. Trailer does not have MR. Which is not a big deal. I don't think anybody is... Oh, God. it would almost be worth it for me to quit out of the game and go back and disable MR, because it's going to be like this for every crop that we haul. I'm not ill about it or anything. It's not like that. All right. And I remember, oh, you know, I hate to, well, I'm not a fan of drama, but I definitely hate to attribute comments or thoughts to somebody and then be wrong about it. But I remember somebody, and I think it may have been Bullet Bill, saying that they had a difference of opinion with the modder who created More Realistic about what More Realistic is. So yeah, reflecting on that, it is likely that these mods would not have More Realistic. I mean, I think it's just kind of a given, you know, but that's because it's one of my go-to mods. Doesn't mean it's everybody's go-to mod. So yeah, I think, well, I tried to create some of my own MR XMLs, and I found it to be extremely difficult. And there were some resources at one point, but those pages all give 404 error. It's been years since that was a thing. So there is a database, but it hasn't been updated in quite a while, because I think people are just not creating MR XML. So the possibility of somebody making More Realistic XML files for these implements and trailers that Bullet Bill just dropped is pretty much zero. It's not going to happen. So I think we'll just turn off MR. You know, can't have everything. And can we swing this? I think it may. No, we're okay. So he's right at there. I thought we'd have to take a couple swings at it, but we got it in there. All right. It's right about in here. Not super immersive, because the trigger's on the side, not the back. And so it goes. All right. I thought that might happen. So we'll just sell this wheat. Straw, we're good. Sugar beet, we'll have to buy grass, and then water we'll have to put in there. Okay. So who is buying wheat, and what are they paying for it? Most we can get is Hollister Agra, which is... Oh, fantastic. Look at that. Hollister Agra is right there. Beautiful. All right, so we'll go out Hatton Lane. We'll make a left, and then it's right there. Perfect. And that does... Really? Stand by. That does, I would say, alter things a little bit. Because going back and forth to sell this stuff will be quicker. Right? Because it really is like right here. Fortunately not on the other side of the map. So we will at least sell the soybeans. I know what I can do. Let's do this. We'll sell the soybeans. That will give us enough money to go get our tanker. We'll sell the milk. Bring back water. Get the animals watered, and then I will, off camera, I will turn off MR and get rid of the rest of our commodities that we own. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, I love More Realistic. I use it. It's like the first mod that I turn on when I create a save game. But it doesn't work great on this map. It really doesn't. And this new stuff, I mean, there haven't been any new mods, good mods for 17 for, I don't know, a year or two. There's only a few people making them, and one of them is Bullet Bill. So we've got these new mods, this new stuff that he just dropped. It would be a shame not to use it. I don't think I'm able to convert it myself. So I think it makes sense to just turn off MR. I think it does. All right, so let's go right here. Beautiful. Now we're going to need to open this little grate. I'm on SP right now. JR. Don't have an MP server going at the moment. All right, so do that. And where are our controls? There we go. So I think we're only going to get, probably 1,000, less than 1,000 for this. But money's money. I'll take it. I did leave the gate open at Blockwell, and I'm going to leave this pit open. $9.65. That's fine. Money's money. Let's get the soybeans done next. Then we'll park this thing up, go get our water tank, milk tank, and get that done as well. Okay. And of all the hours that I have on this map, I don't think I've ever made this right turn where we're about to turn on Hatton Lane. So I'm gonna be very careful I don't miss it. There it is. All right, right up there. And we'll go all the way back to Blockwell, load up with soybeans, go back to HM Agra, and get those sold. And then I think everything else, so 15,000 for the soybeans, and I think everything else combined is probably about 15,000 as well. So we'll come out of the day with, I don't know, probably plus 20 net, maybe plus 15 net, but we'll have the tanker, the milk is sold, and the cows are fed for 3 days. And that's everything. That's TMR and wheat. I guess I could get them a pallet of grass off camera. But we'll see if we can get them to... I saw they bumped up to 81%. But I think the bug keeps them at a maximum of 82%. I don't know. On our previous save game, I don't think I ever saw them better than that. Doral, that's it. Doral. I always want to think Mowgli made MR, but it's Doral. You're correct. Yep, JR, we are thinking about getting an MP server going. So just, I keep telling people, if you want to get MP going, talk to me in Discord. And the only place people ever talk about MP is here. And then I never hear from them again. So when we can get some details figured out, as far as what map, what mods, whether we want to be in 17 or 19, I have no problem getting an MP server going and getting it all set up for you. I don't know how often I'll be in it, but I'm happy to set it up for people from the Discord, from the community to use. But I never hear back from anybody. All right, whoa, almost missed our turn. Yeah, I tried creating MR XML, and I was really struggling with it. I even had a hard time understanding MR XML that other people had created. It seems really simple, but I don't know. I just couldn't make sense of it. And I guess if you want to do it right, you have to, there's, what's it called? Tractor info something? Tractors.info. There's a database, massive database, with the technical specs of like every tractor ever created. As far as like gross weight, horsepower, what kind of transmission it had, all that sort of thing. And that is the resource, one of the resources I'm told you're supposed to use when you're creating an MR. And even using that, I really could not, I just couldn't make sense of it. All right, we want, what do we say? Soybeans. So soybeans are 2,000. What else? Sunflowers. Yeah, sunflowers are typically better. Let's keep those. And canola is typically better. Let's keep that as well. Corn and barley, you never get a good price for those. But let's sit on the canola and the sunflowers in case we need them later. You know what I mean? Because like I said, if I had seen this these commodities when we first started, that, all right, yeah, no MR. It's not gripping at all. If I had seen these commodities when we first started the save game, I would have immediately sold them and then just burned through that money as well. So let's leave it in there as, you know what I mean? Well, we'll wait for a great demand for one thing. But also we'll just kind of save it for a rainy day. Because I don't think of myself as a financially irresponsible person. But I am always broke. All right, beacon's on. Hazard's on. Brake is on. Come back here. Close the gate. Get hit by a car. Back in here. Here we go. Brakes off. Turn those off. Turn those off. Here we go. And we're making... What are we making here? The first right. Yeah, we'll go over the tracks, make the first right. Those are tracks? Yeah, those are tracks. Make the first right. Yeah, I absolutely cannot keep this thing on the road. Oh, Gabe. I love Farm Sim. You know I love Farm Sim. But once you get into that mod life, you know what I'm saying? You on any given save game, you are running the risk of not just crashes and bugs and that sort of thing. There's a possibility of an even bigger problem. That possibility is breaking the immersion. To me, that is the worst thing. I think I'd rather have game crashes than problems with immersion, because if the game crashes, you know you're just done. Right? Like that's not going to work. That's a non-starter. But if you're having problems with immersion, I'm always tempted, like, maybe I can ignore that. Maybe I can pretend that's not happening. But man, I am straight up obsessed with immersion. All right, so we're gonna go right past the farm, back to Hollister Agra. Whoa, feels like I'm on ice right now. I'll take this back to Hollister Agra. Let me tell you how bad it is trying to drive with this trailer. I'm going to leave it at Hollister Agra. I'm not even going to move it anywhere. Just going to drop it right there. We'll go grab our tanker, get the cow sorted, and then we'll call it. I'm so triggered right now. My OCD, my immersion is so triggered right now. It's a non-MR trailer with an MR tractor. I spent hours one day sorting through my mod file and making sure that every tractor I had was MR converted. And then I converted all the CD models, all the 4D modding stuff. I converted most of the modding Velt and Forbidden Mod stuff already has MR on board. But just about everything in my mod folder is converted except for this new bullet bill stuff that I just brought in. All right, right through there. Oh, and it's sort of intermittent. Yeah, this is exactly the same feeling we had on Gwendur when we had... Oh, God. It's exactly the same feeling we had on Gwendur when we used, I want to say one of the Flegel trailers with the MB track. And it's like it holds and then it just starts to turn sideways kind of spontaneously. Not a big deal. I'm not like upset or anything. I don't want to give you that impression. But typically I would do this. I would sort these problems out off camera. All right. So this is going to be great. I think we're going to get at least, what, 15,000, 16,000? Yeah, it doesn't want to bite, doesn't want to turn, and then it jackknifes. All right, living and learning. I'll take a look. It could be that somebody has converted these over, but I haven't really seen anything new on the MR/XML database. For most of the stuff is dated like at least 2 years ago, some of it longer. Beautiful. Oh, fantastic. 16,000. I love it. Sir. Other way. There you go. All right, I'm going to stuff this right back there by the propane tank. Let's take a look. Off the top of my head, I can't remember how much the smallest Coda Universal is. Yeah, we're going to drop this right back here. Fantastic. Put that right there. Break. Close that. Now let's go here and see how much this thing is. It is 25. Oh, God. We have 25,300. We are going to sell milk, though, so let's do this. Let's go here and bump our loan 10,000. And I believe we'll get close to 10,000 for the milk. So now this thing, we want it in Massey red. Ag wheels, standard wheels. Let's do that. We'll go Ag coat gray. Turn that on 29. Yeah. All right. And this is definitely converted. All right. To the store. And we need to... how am I going to do this? It doesn't matter. We need to make 2 trips regardless. So let's go down, pick the thing up, come back, fill it with milk, take it down and sell it, take that 10,000 back off the loan, then we'll go to the water facility, we'll fill up, we'll come back, fill the trough, we'll call it. Okay, and then off camera I will sell the rest of those crops, or at least the wheat and the corn. We'll sit on the canola and the sunflower. And then next episode, we'll mow and put up that entire field for silage. And probably skip time again. And when it's fermented, we will lease a trailer. Oh, God. Lease a trailer and load it 600 liters at a time with our little bucket and take it down and sell it. And again, we'll do that one time on camera. And then I'll do it, the rest of it I'll do off camera. So, yep, I think after we sell this milk, that'll put us on about 15,000. 10,000 back off the loan. And also we have skipped a couple days. So it's possible that there'll be some different jobs available in contract work that pay a little bit better. And I'll do those off camera as well, try to keep making money. So we just got to keep our head above water until our canola comes in and hope that that field is worth, what do you think, 60,000? 40,000? 100,000? I don't know. I can't even estimate what it's going to be worth. We are running the crop manager script. And that is supposed to make, it makes the prices a lot more realistic. And I assume, when you say realism in this game, you're talking about making things harder for yourself. So the fact that we're using that mod, I think, means we're not going to get nearly as much money for crops. And we are going to have to rotate, not so much for the soil chemistry, but for the price. I think if we were to bring the same crop in year after year, the price would drop off. So we will, we'll rotate. But you know what we can do? We won't be able to put in a winter crop. So we'll just wait till next spring, try to survive, wait till next spring and put in soybeans. And soybeans are a good money crop. Make a lot of money from soybeans. So, and in the meantime, we'll get this grass cut coming up. the one that we can do next episode. And then I think we'll get at least one more after that, maybe two more, because it's early summer and the grass is growing in like 3 days, 4 days. So it's possible that we'll get 4 grass cuts. All right, back to the farm. And if we can find a sweet spot for grass as far as what we want to do with it, like maybe one cut is cow food, hay and silage, as we did. Another is silage for money. And then another is who knows what. I don't know, something else. Right? If we can mix it up and find that sweet spot where we're getting absolute maximum value from that single grass field, I think that's the smart way to do it. Because 5,000 a day, as long as we keep the cows fed, and we will have to feed them all winter. Okay. I think it's inevitable that we'll get a 3rd cut. I don't know if we'll get a 4th, but as we did on our first save game, let's start thinking about this next cut, the one that we're going to do next episode. Do we want to put that up as hay bales and silage bales? And it's the second time that's happened. I'm feeling like there's a invisible bump at that level crossing. Do we want to be safe, right, rather than greedy? Do we want to be safe and put up this next cut that we do next episode as hay bales and silage bales, just so we know, everything else being equal, we'll be able to keep the cows fed? All right. I know we'll get a 3rd cut, but you see what I mean? I don't want to assume that we're getting one more cut and then we don't have any way to feed the cows. And if we don't make enough money from the canola and the silage that we sell, it's like we won't even have enough money to buy TMR over the winter. And I don't think with seasons, I don't know if there will be contract jobs all winter. I think those may sort of dry up after a while. And then what would we do? We'd be out of luck, man. We'd be screwed. If we had no room on the loan and no contract jobs and nothing to sell, we'd be out of luck. We'd have to sell the cows. So yeah, I think maybe we do put that next cut up as animal food. It's probably the ethical thing to do as well when you think about it, right? Because if you put profit over the health and safety of your animals and they all die on you, doesn't make economic sense, and it's really not very nice to your animals. All right. So we'll fill this thing. Take it down and sell it. Oh. No, all right. And we've been into the milk tap several times, but I still can't remember where it is. Oh no, I do remember where it is. It's the water trough that is tricky to get into. It's the milk tap that's right up front. Nobby, what's happening? How were your holidays? I think, can we swing this 180 degrees? Yep. Right through there. Yeah, the milk tap is right here. The other one is further back. The water trough is further back. Okay. Just going to go right there. And then, like so. And I think we may fill this thing. What's the capacity on this? Like 10,000? And we have 9,900? I think we may fill this thing and have a little bit left over. I didn't want to lease it yesterday just for some quick money, because as expensive as it would be to lease it, and if we didn't fill it, you know what I mean? It would just be, it's all the way down to the store. We have to drive all the way down there to take it back. Although, that would only be if we leased it, but you know what I mean. All those trips, all the time, all the fuel. If it wasn't full when we went down to the dairy to sell, I feel like that's not a very good use of money. But we're all right now. Never played Farm Sim? It's a fantastic game. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's kind of weird when you hear it described. Like, you do what now? Like right now, we just picked up a load of milk, right? And we're going to take it down and sell it. We got muddy problems. Our cows are eating us out of house and home. So there's a lot of kind of weird things going on, but somehow it just comes together, and it's a really balanced, really fun sim. But yeah, if somebody described this to me, I don't know what I would think of it. I think it's one of those things that you really have to play it for it to click for you. And it's not for everybody. I'm not saying like everybody who plays it loves it, but it doesn't make any sense on paper. But it's a great game. I love it. Don't hit the DHL van. Let's get over there. Get over there. Here we go. Yeah, with a converted trailer, we've got 9 tons of milk in there, and it handles better than the Marston trailer did empty. And there's nothing wrong with the Marston trailer. Let me stress that. I'm not like throwing shade on Bullet Bill's mod making. It's not like that at all. But MR is kind of it's kind of a finicky mod. And you either need everything to be MR or turn it off. But if you have kind of a mix, it doesn't always work so good. So I will take a look. Man, if somebody had converted those already, that would be fantastic. The other thing I could do is maybe... I'll take a look, because if there are other Marston trailers that have the same real-world specs, what I might do is grab that XML and just scab the lines of code out of them. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Because the XML would be different, because it's a different mod, but if it's based on the same Marston trailer, then maybe I could just grab those lines of code and plug them in. I don't know. No, that doesn't really work, because then the other stuff, the spreaders, the rakes, everything else. Yeah. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Yeah, I hear you. You know what's funny is one of the reasons I was running late today is because I was testing out Ultimate Fishing Simulator for the channel. And it's sort of like that. I mean, I've been playing Hunter Call of the Wild, and I feel like those games need to be a little bit unrealistic in the amount of animals that you harvest or the amount of fish that you catch. If it was 1-to-1 with real life, I don't think anybody would ever play them. If I played a hunting game where I played for like 2 or 3 or 4 game days and never saw anything, I would want my money back. But I know when I was growing up hunting, there would be years that not only did I not get anything, but everybody that I knew didn't get anything. We all got skunked. So I think you need to kind of stylize it a little bit. But even so, playing a fishing simulator, I spent a lot of time walking around a little lake, casting, looking for fish breaking the surface, and then casting it where they had been. I wasn't catching anything. And that's... gaming is different now. Sim gaming has really, I think, altered the way that we... like, what our expectations are of gaming. You know, going all the way back to arcade games, you drop a quarter in an arcade game and you know you're going to get, 7 or 8 minutes of entertainment. And the idea that you would drop your quarter in and then nothing would happen, right? It was like that was our model for gaming for the longest time, is that there had to be some kind of response. There had to be some kind of activity. It was a little bit frantic and not super realistic, but, give me my money's worth. I'm playing a game. But now that we're on PC and console and we play on our sofa and we have all the time in the world, it's like games can slow down a little bit. They can be at our pace instead of feeling like we need to get our money's worth in the next 7 minutes. So I love where sim gaming is right now. I'm really, really happy, and I feel really lucky to be in gaming again. I'm glad I came back to it when I did. All right, so there is, we got 12,660. So let's go here and put this back on the loan, right? The 10 that we just took, that puts us back at 275. We got 25,000 room on there. Let's go get some water. And how are we doing on time? 15 minutes. If we get this water back to the cows in the next 10 minutes, that'll be a perfect 2-hour episode. I'll take it. And my voice is just about to go. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. I love it. All right, right in here. I have to say, though, if you've ever considered a fishing sim, Ultimate Fishing, I think, is the best one I've played so far. I did get all the DLC and everything, but it's got a lot of real-world equipment. It was a little grindy at first, but once it clicked, right there, once it clicked, it got to be really, really fun. Yeah, that's a lot like what this is like. I think, well, right now I have one spin rod, I have one spin reel. I was able to upgrade to a stronger line, and I didn't know I was fishing on just bait on a hook, but I was able to upgrade to a lure. And when I did, I saw that I actually already owned one. So the game starts you with one, but I was able to start with a spinning lure, and it's designed for rainbow trout. So the first fish that I was catching on flies, I was selling for like $1 and $2 a piece, and wondering how I would ever make enough money to buy better gear. But when I switched over to that lure from natural bait, I started catching bull trout and rainbow trout and brookies that I was selling for like 30 and 40 a piece. So I was able to upgrade fairly quickly, and I leveled up as well. So it seemed grindy right off, but I think, I mean, to me, a well-balanced game is a game that forces you to play a little bit slowly until you figure out what the hell you're doing, right? That you can't just jump in and buy everything, because when you don't know what you're buying, you're not spending your money wisely. You're just buying stuff, but you have no idea what you're buying. So I think games that do sort of box you in and force you to grind a little bit, that gives you a little bit of time to learn the game. In my case, it was about 90 minutes. And I figured some things out, and it was right about then that I switched over from natural bait to that spinning lure and started catching much bigger fish and selling them for a lot more money. So the first time I had money, I had already been forced to kind of slow down and figure out how I was going to spend it. So I think it's probably the best fishing simulator I've played so far, and I have been trying them out for the channel. I don't know if I would ever bring it to the channel. I mean, Hunter Call of the Wild is slow. We spend a lot of time just walking around very beautiful worlds. But it's not, it's not a shooting gallery. They call it hunting, not shopping. So you do spend a lot of time walking around looking for animals. First episode we did worked, but I don't know if fishing would be a good fit for the channel. It might. We'll give it a try, but it's a lot of just looking at a lake, It's like fishing in real life. It's a lot of sitting around. But we'll give it a try. Why not, right? It's right through there. And I'm still trying to figure out for New Year's Eve if we want to do... I'm thinking about doing 6 hours. 12 sims from 2020. 30 minutes apiece. Oh, that is so cool. I'm really, I feel like modding, I don't know. I feel like modding has gotten to a point where devs are going to begin backing away from it because the quality of mods is as good as the developer content. And I feel like we've I don't know, like we've crossed a threshold where devs are afraid to have mods in their games now for fear that nobody will ever buy their DLC again. I think maybe we hit peak mod. Farm Sim, I have to say, they're grandfathered in, and I wonder if they don't regret that now. I mean, the game would not be where it is without mods. Were it not for mods in at least 15 and 17, I think the game would have withered and died by now. I don't even think there would be an FS17. So the game owes its existence to mods, but now that they're moving away from a new title every 2 years and moving more toward $5.99 and $7.99 DLC, I wonder if they're not beginning to regret where they are right now, because there's so much good mod content I don't know. I mean, I typically buy DLC because I'm curious and I want to support the devs. But I think it's reasonable at a certain point that, you don't buy things that you don't have to. And even the mod content, I hate to say this in a live stream, but even the DLC content, rather. DLC content gets cracked like a minute and a half after it's released. And Giants has to know that. So, I don't know, man. I don't fully understand their business model. But like I said, I think in some ways they may regret being such a heavily mod-based franchise. Because it looks like they want to move toward the DLC model. And ain't nobody going to buy it if they don't need to, All right. So we'll open this. Ladies, going to need a little bit of room right now. Oh, wow. 4 of the biggest modders got banned from the mod hub this week for having DLC parts in the mod. Yeah. I mean, you're taking your chances. I remember Mod Contest. Did I say that right? Yeah, Mod Contest 17. I remember it was just a couple days after the mods went live, and people were like, yeah, that's my stuff in there. That's not, I got the Blender screenshots to prove it. That's my stuff that somebody else has in their mod. So it's a tricky world, man. You're not fooling anybody. All right. So we're going to empty this out. All right, so there's that. I'm going to turn that off. Okay, that's all good. I'm going to pull back forward, and I think we'll call it right here. I want to read the chat a little bit because I'm curious what all this is going on. So turn that there. Ooh. All right. Yeah, I hear you, Nabi. There's a lot of games like that are sort of trapped in development hell. Custom modding and SID modding. Yeah, you're taking your chances. I don't think you're really going to, put a whole lot past this community. Particularly the subgroup of the community that actually builds mods. It's not that big a group of people, and you're certainly not going to slip anything past Giants, right? Because they need to review mods that come across the mod hub. Why wouldn't they unzip it and take a look inside? All right. Well, I mean, on the one hand, I want to say that's too bad, but on the other hand, it's like, yeah, they're moving toward a DLC model. So maybe they're going to start phasing out mods, or at least being more strict about them. Who knows? Right. So that is exactly 2 hours. That is 1 hour and 59 minutes and 50 seconds. So I think we could call it right there. The grass is ready. So next episode, I think we're going to mow, and I think we have to put it all up as animal food. I think we do. Because we've got 3 days in there right now. That's going to take us the rest of the way through summer. But then what, right? We still need to feed them through fall, all of fall and all of winter. And I don't want to pay $4,000 a day to feed the cows. So yeah, let's do that. I know we're going to get a third cut, but what if we don't, right? That's my fear. What if we don't and we have no food to put up? So we'll put up second cut as animal food. Third cut will be silage. But in the meantime, we'll have milk to sell. We own our trailer again, so we don't have to lease that. So I think we're in good shape. And I'll keep doing contract jobs off camera, and I'll sell the rest of the wheat and corn. I'm sorry, barley and corn off camera. All right, so we'll do either truck sim or flight sim tomorrow. And then we'll be back on Monday, back on the Western Shore. There you go. Thanks, everybody. I do appreciate you. You're a great audience. Thanks for checking out the stream. See you tomorrow. Good night.